I got all my papers back because I'm trying to get a visa now, and it's actually 40 arrests. I'd sit indoors and I'd be horrendously sad, and I was like, why am I sad? And then I go, I know what stopped me from being sad. Guinness Simple.
The first dip got rid of all that feeling. So why would I not just do that all the time?
Yeah.
As long as you're turning up and doing your show and making money, ultimately just get on with it. And sadly, we've lost people to that, even just recently.
Steeze Factory.
I used to skip school next Xmas celebration. Anything that can bring me salvation.
What's that mean?
I think I was just quite a runaway kid at that time. When I left my mum's house early, like 15, 14, those times. Once I colluded with like my brotherhood and my sisters, I just felt really comfortable with them. And then at home, I just didn't really feel at home sometimes, a lot of the time. My mum was working a lot. Had a lot of family from Jamaica in there, and sometimes I didn't really feel like my home. So I just kind of went there, and that I was just so comfortable within that. Like my grandma would get upset, bless her. I wouldn't go there for Christmas. I wouldn't be at family birthdays or any celebrations, and I missed a lot. And I'm not in some photos and stuff like that because I'm even away. Mm. So. Yeah, it was like I don't know, that's how I was living.
I was a slave to Babylon, misinformation.
We all are.
We all are. And even a slave to being a statistic, being someone that's been... I got all my papers back because I'm trying to get a visa now, and it's actually 40 arrests that I've had since I've been 13. Mm. And becoming a statistic is more so being a slave to them. That's what they formulate for us to be. And that's what my mum, being a social worker, said that's what you're probably going to end up being. And then you probably end up reoffending and going back to prison at certain times. And I just ticked all their boxes. Mm. Like I didn't need to do that. Even though I thought it was a massive growing curve for me, but I didn't need to do that. Looking back, but it's just how it happened.
For sure. I mean, it cards you dealt vibration.
Yeah.
In the middle. I'm from Sheffield up north.
Yeah.
From what end are you from?
I'm from East London, Isle of Dogs.
Yeah. We're very similar, but we're very different.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, statistically.
No, but you're from the steel town, man. Like people work hard there, and all Isle of Dogs people just worked hard. It was a dockers town, so it's kind of similar things there, and it's all about family and stuff. So when I stepped out and realised that I had another family. That another product of the environment family that was going through the same kind of thing, not too much money in the household, and mum and dad are split up, and due to that now mum's working couple jobs and not home as much as she would like to be, as much as I would like her to be, So, you feel things and you get you don't even realise that it's a state of trauma that you're under. But and then you go trauma bonding with other people that are going through the same. You look in their eye, they got that same bit of a null look in their eye, a bit of a sad look in their eye, and they go, "Oh, that feels familiar." And then it's like that, bang, 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 and then there's like suddenly 40 years.
Yeah, family vibes.
Yeah.
And also there's just like a whole heap of self-medication going on.
Yeah, whole heap of self-medication going on.
People don't know, whatever walk of life they're from, that sometimes what they sedate is that even that.
Yeah.
So like you still talk about trauma and things like that. People have it, they just think it's normal.
They just think it's normal, but you don't even know. I remember the first time I got drunk is the reason why I probably still get drunk today, even though I know I'm sensible enough that that's never going to reach again. But that feel of alleviation, that feel of not feeling sad at all, not thinking about anything at all, and just being an autopilot, became a haven.
Yeah, absolutely. I get it. I'm 6 years sober this week.
Congratulations.
Thank you, my bro.
Congratulations.
But I had the same
One
thing.
day for me.
Thank you, my brother. The first sip got rid of all that feeling. So why would I not just do that all the time?
Yeah.
It makes complete sense. So it was like, for years I didn't realise that actually that kind of base level I got to was probably how a lot of people felt day to day, which is why they don't feel the need to drink like someone like myself, right? So I just never ever think anything of anyone who's self-medicating. More time they don't even know they're doing it.
No.
I did it up until a certain point, and then I was like, this is mental.
Yeah.
It's become more than self-medication. It's like a sort of like overdriven version.
It becomes like a shield, especially like when you're in this business and you've got to deal with so many people that most of the time you don't even like them.
Yeah, facts.
You live amongst them. So if I'm in my feelings here a bit moody and I've got someone around me that I don't like, eventually they're going to know I don't like them.
Right.
And do you know what I mean?
Authentic.
Yeah, and so like, and they're getting, with the alcohol, you know, I'm just a bit more sociable until I go over the top, and then they're definitely going to know I don't like them. Do you know what I mean?
The real talk.
Yeah, so...
No, I hear it.
So that's why it's a bit of a catch-22 for me. And over the past few years, I've just really been watching myself, like really like trying to, and since this session of festivals and gigs and that, I've been really just trying to pull back and just not as much, you know, events that. So I'm on a bit of a journey really, because I'd love to use like alcohol and weed as a celebratory tool, not just something that's just used like for no reason.
That's it. That's even tobacco used to be like a ceremony.
Yeah. For the Indians and the money back in the day.
Yeah. But now it's more like it was sold as a thing that, you know, was an addictive tendency and whatnot. And you don't really realise that the excess that you go to day to day is why it started wasn't for that reason. Essentially.
Yeah.
But I hear it, and I couldn't do I'm just going to celebrate with it. I'm just going to have one. I just couldn't. So that's why I personally had to knock it on the head. And I respect anyone, particularly in this business, that can hold it. Because in music, as we know, as long as you're turning up and doing your show and making money, ultimately just get on with it. And sadly, we've lost people to that, even just recently, that kind of lifestyle. And it's a bigger problem than individuals, of course. It's not one person's problem. But there's definitely a collective lack of care, I think, for the person on the stage. Of course,
because wherever you go, they're flinging free alcohol at you. So you can just be taking a picture of it, this, that, la, 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 blah, blah, blah. You know, everywhere you go, it's like a selling point, you know what I mean? To have free alcohol and so on and so forth. So yeah, I'm just trying to like really look at that, man. And I would love to get to a point. I'm going to try and get to a point where I can use it sparingly. But then if I can't, then hopefully within the next 10 years, I'll knock it on the head. Hopefully, man. I would love to.
I respect it highly, man. Anyone that can tiptoe on it, I'm so jealous.
People say, I'm not drinking today.
Yeah,
what do you mean? How do you just like...
I'm only having one.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, no. Don't make sense.
No.
And my neural pathways don't see that as an option.
No.
And that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. But that one, for me, just opens a whole...
Oh, same.
Yeah.
That's it. It's days.
You know how it goes, man.
I hear it, my brother.
I used to denounce any sort of elevation, sitting in the pub or sitting on my PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, there's not really much places to go from the pub. You know, you're in the pub, and it's just there's a lid on the pub. I feel you can't really get higher than that. You're all in there, and you're all what's the word? You're all nullifying.
Yeah.
You know. So there's no elevation there. There can be like aspects of celebration with your friends and all that, but when we're talking about you're in there every day, like I was in the pub every day, there's nothing you can do. And then you go home and smoke your head off and play PlayStation till 4 o'clock in the morning or till you crash out. Yeah.
It's numbing though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all just distraction.
All of it is distraction.
Yeah. Which goes back to the point we just said.
Is why am I sad?
Yeah.
And I didn't like to I'd sit indoors and I'd be horrendously sad. And I was like, why am I sad? And then I go, I know what stopped me from being sad. A Guinness Import, the large one.
Yeah.
2 of them.
Yeah, quickly.
You know what I mean?
Facts.
So I'd run across the road, and this is when I was living in my flat back in the day. And also, like, as much as like we used to happen when you was younger, in our generations, 14, 15, 16-year-old boys shouldn't be living on their own anyway.
I agree.
They shouldn't, no matter.
Is that what you was doing?
Yeah, of course. I had a flat. I had a full-on flat but at 15.
Right.
Full-on living with my pal, flat, paying rent. That didn't go well. Then I was in hostels. And then I got my flat off the council properly. And yeah, that was all before my 16th birthday. My mate Clarky, my best friend, he was going to school from his hostel. Wow. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's no way to live for you.
It's not having that much pressure on you, you know, to survive. Then you got to use your skills, you know, you got to use your kleptomaniac here, there, or whatever.
Well, you've got to make money.
You've got to make money.
For yourself and your friend.
Yeah.
So how do you do that?
How do you do that?
You know how we do that.
Yeah.
And then what does that lead to? Back to the statistic point, right?
Yeah. There you go.
Psycho, man. It's mad. Like, music, everyone I meet in this room has something that's not average to the person passing the street, or I buy a t-shirt off in a shop or whatever. There's a neuro pathway that we have, or we learn, or we grow through these experiences. And for me, music was another sedation. So I'd lock into rhythms and DJing and mixtapes for hours and escape the world. And I think without that kind of base level of what we're talking about, I don't think I'd be as good or as successful in music. So even though it might come from a dark place, it flips into a light place, and you're a prime example of that.
1,000,000%. Like, especially, a lot of my music is just talking about alleviation from dark spaces, or even if it's not alleviation, it's just about a conversation in dark spaces, where a lot of popular music these days is sensationalism, and it's like talking about high levels of life that that the artist probably isn't living, and I just and that gives people like, it's like a false place to chase. They're chasing something that doesn't even exist. They're chasing like a existentialism. They're chasing like it's not real.
Yeah.
Like a person doesn't have that much money that they're talking about, and if they're telling, and then people believe in that and buy into that and celebrate that, but then what's wrong with just being sad?
No, I agree, which is probably how a lot of people feel anyway.
Exactly.
The funny thing is that with that stuff is, like, I'm always a bit conflicted, because the reality of these messagings that entertainment provides is false. But if someone sees that route as a way of success and out of their place, then it's really hard to go in that space with the authenticity that you have.
Yeah.
But also see a finishing line or a space of quote unquote success.
Well, but I think that's because we don't have normal heroes anymore. Everyone, in order to be a hero, you have to be dripped in like £100,000 of gold,
right?
And this, that. But what about, there's normal heroes, there's normal orators, there's normal people that are talking for our rights and but they will be probably demonized on social media or something by propaganda, so on and so forth. Yeah. The normal man can't be a hero anymore, but the normal man is the person you need to be looking up to, the person that shows goodwill on the street daily. That's the person you should be looking up to. So someone who's able to sing or talk about those kind of things. If people see people that look like you and I, act like you and I, that are embracing normality, then that's when the normal man can become a hero again. And that's when, and that was like, that person was a priceless product of community. But because community is no longer like a key thing anymore, not what people put money into and so on and so forth, that person is now deemed irrelevant. That person is now deemed poor. But that man is probably the richest man in the world, because he doesn't need much for him to be content. And those are the heroes that we should be, I feel like, be looking up to. It's embracing togetherness, you know? If I didn't have togetherness, if I didn't create my togetherness when I was young, I'd have been lost. I've had tumultuous thoughts in my head, terrible thoughts I wouldn't share with anybody. But, you know, having friends that made me feel comfortable and warm, boys and girls, is how I'm able to even still be here, man. Community, without fail.
Eclecticness.
My friends' mums and dads would give me clothes and wash my clothes and feed me, and I felt like I was the most alone person on the planet, but I wasn't. They made sure that I felt that I wasn't. So I owe a lot to community.
It takes a village to raise a child.
100%.
Also, you hear that in your music, and again, you're one of those people that kind of, I feel so like he's doing that, and it's default. A lot of people might virtually signal or say something, but it's how you live day to day that I believe is real change, and that can be slight things here and there.
Yeah.
So it don't have to necessarily be this big Instagram post or this big like charitable moment that's publicized. It's just bits and bats that can really affect people smallly. For example, someone might say something off cuff just by being in existence, and it inspires me so much.
100%.
It's mad, isn't it?
I write them down. When people give me bits of gold, I say, oh, and write that down and use that in songs.
Yeah.
And all the time.
I've used it to like lifestyle. So people have said things that they don't know has altered my life because they didn't say it to say it in any way other than they're just existing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And those are the heroes.
Yeah.
Almost, if not more than the ones that are put on a pedestal.
100%. Just like those heroes that I'd see like in Yard that would just say the most craziest lines. And
What?
You think, what? And then, you know, and you're gone.
You walk with it. That's one of the things I love about Jamaica, you know, like people have like a phrase that is like repeated or it's their thing, but 9 times out of 10, it is a positive vibration.
Yes.
Way
yes,
up,
yeah.
up full.
Yeah.
Boss man.
Yeah.
Only one. Hak Baker, like it's very like celebratory. Mm-hmm. It's constant gratitude.
That's good.
It is though, like people like when you go, I think it's partly because people ain't got much. So they have to use their voice.
And energy and uplift, up for that you just said.
Upfulness.
Just uplift everybody.
By greeting someone, you feel energized. The vibration, it's fascinating. I don't get that in many other cultures.
Yeah, they take pride in greeting. They all say greeting.
Yeah.
Make sure that you are, met. You have to meet people.
Yeah.
Eye contact, handshake, energy transfer, all day long.
Human vibration.
Regulations and rules. I am a free man inside a life school. At my own pedigree, I am not a case brute.
Yeah.
Boss.
Because, well, you live sometimes, you just kind of live like, I'm this, I'm that, I can only be this, fuck it, it is what it is, la la la. And you just dive deeper in that hour and just say, I've got to do this. This is how I've got to live my life. And I don't care if I go jail, whatever. But that's not the way I had to live, man. And that, I guess it took time away to realise, no, that's dead. I'm a free man. I'm not a caged brute. I don't belong in those cells. I don't belong to be. Even though I will go back there to incite my freedom. If anyone ever tries to close that down, I will fight. But no, man. Man, them are not supposed to be in there. Like people from where we come from are the most. We fight and we fight to live. So we should live.
Yeah, totally.
We shouldn't be trapped down for nothing.
I feel like back to point A of statistics and systemic failure that is way higher for someone from a certain space is like it's so like obviously it's planned to an extent and the way around it, but the people that are put in there are the people that, in my opinion, often need the most love.
Oh yeah.
So it's like the opposite effect of what should heal. I know you do a lot of outreach and helping for prison system, don't you?
Yeah.
What's that involved in?
Go in, talk, we do podcasts and that with people that are like previously just released from prison. So we go in there and do have great conversations, which are great. Last podcast I was on, and then all 3 of them would just come out of jail, and now 2 of them was working on BBC doing production, and they was amazing, asking the right questions, and this gets played on the. I can't remember what it's called, but there's a digital radio station that runs along prison, and they can hear it and la la la. I'll go into prisons and talk to lads and bring my guitar and tell them where I've come from, and then we can sometimes make a little music. I've got another one I'm going into next week. Another going into where am I going? I think we're going into ISIS again. Again, another workshop with some lads. I'm going there. One of my photographer mates will take some photos, teach them about camera, teach them about guitar, music, and talking to them. It's about them seeing people that remind them of themselves, to know that our dreams do not just lay in derogatory stuff. Yeah. Like our dreams can be as vast and huge as possible. And I think it really helps them knowing where I've been, where I'm from. A lot of my mates, a lot of people that I know now are still in jail, doing big sentences. So I know about all that, and I think if I can help one person just change the way they think from prison, because I feel the most ambitious people are in prison and the most wisest people are in prison, because they're the people that goes, you know what, I ain't gonna do that, but I'm gonna do this. And they're the people that dare to think out of the box, but they just did it a bit wrong. So if I can think out the box still, but just be different.
Do your bit.
Yeah, do your
bit. It's funny, isn't it? Because it's like the system that we keep referencing is so overwhelmingly like wrong. Sometimes it's like you're chipping away at this big fat thing that you can't even get close. But someone once said to me, just like you do it because they won't. That resonated with me a bit, like about something completely separate. And it's like those little things you do. You can't change systems single-handedly, sadly. But you going in there doing those little things, just speaking to people that identify with who you are. They've seen your way out of that way. And even that one conversation could just change that narrative a little bit.
Just slightly.
That is more than they're doing anyway.
They don't do anything because they just monopolise of the whole situation. It's just like reverse slavery, really. They get like 33,000. When I was in jail, they was getting 33 grand per prisoner.
Right.
And then privatising prison. So therefore, that money's going in somebody's pocket hugely. Because I'll tell you now, it does not. I did not receive 33 grand's worth of care in incarceration.
Yeah.
So after that, at least it's going in someone's back pocket per prisoner.
Yeah, it's business, isn't it?
It's business.
More people, the better in there, to an extent.
Yeah.
For them anyway.
Yeah.
What about in prison when you was there? Music, how did that resonate? Like, what was the...
Well, that's why I started playing guitar.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got put on my name got pulled out of a hat, and I was put on a small guitar course for a few weeks, and then that's where I had the guitar, and I just thought I've always enjoyed the guitar, and it just gave me the confidence to think that I can do something with it. So upon release, eventually, I got one, and that's how it all changes. So that's why I believe in prison, because I believe in the changes in prison, because that time away made me realise, in accordance to that line, that this is not where I want to be, and that I could dream big. And I've always had big dreams, I just haven't known how to put them into fruition.
Yeah, right.
But like that time away gave me that energy to go, no, we're just going to do something different. We're just going to do our own thing.
Well, there was love in that guitar. Do
you
get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. That was a gift. That was a gift, from life, from the Most High, whatever. It was a gift. It's like, we're going to give you this thing, yes, sir. See it there?
And that just changed your whole trajectory of it all, right?
Yeah.
So, like, that's the rehabilitation side of the system, when successful, of course, has done great things for you. But when people don't realise as well, necessarily, that when you leave that jailhouse, you're still in a system.
Oh, but yeah, man.
And it don't really end there, right?
No, because you're on license. So if you make one move, bang, you can be back. And some people are in IPP, even though I think they're getting rid of IPP, indefinite public protection now. It's like if you do anything, you're just back in jail until they tell you you're allowed to come out.
Really? So that's wild.
Yeah. IPP was crazy, but I think they're eradicating it now, because that was just crazy. But yeah, you're still like for half of your sentence, you're still like a slave on road, like working on eggshells and situations like might not be under your control. But if you get catching at them,
go on again.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. It's like it's just once you imploded into that place, to go back in, it's super easy, which leads back into that kind of narration of statistics and system, because it's like, you're already on eggshells, innit? So you might just do something a bit like silly.
Yeah.
And you're back in.
Yeah, back in. Because you have to become reaccustomed as well, and that's hard as well. And you could just be emotional, and that could be just it.
Of course.
And we all can be a slave to our emotions sometimes.
100%. Right. The shoes on my feet and the food that we eat, even... Is that just... Yeah.
Did I cross that out? Is
that
on there?
That's a different lyric.
Yeah.
Exclusive dub box. What else we got in here?
That's my everyday tool. Don't be mad if they're mad at you. Just do what your heart planned for you, yo.
Gratitude is the attitude, yeah. Don't be mad if they're mad at you, because you're doing something correct and they're not. That's all it is. That's the only reason why they're there, because you're daring to stand outside the box. They're just probably upset that they don't have enough confidence to stand outside the box. Do what is planned for you. Do what you need to do. Gratitude and be happy. It's the only way to do it.
It's funny, isn't it? Because if you walk right and act right in yourself integrally, so you know internally that this is the right thing that you believe, no matter what comes back, it doesn't feel the same. For example, if I did something a bit effery, but I was holding it, and someone says something about that, it's bunning. If I do something out of real kind of like how I think is correct and pure and with love, and someone says something, it don't hurt as much.
It don't bun, because I know I'm doing the original thing for me, so I can't you can't affect me, you know?
Yeah, because what you're saying, even though you might think is not authentic to my true self, just for it can't hurt because it's not real.
Yeah. My dad always used to say to me, if you get angry, if you get angry, you let someone allow someone to anger you, then you lose automatically and they win. Because they don't lose if you get angry and hit them or whatever, because now there's repercussions. They could go out to Babylon. People are now going to engage an opinion about you because you reacted with emotion. La, 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 la. You will lose. Someone is antagonizing you and you know that is within their own ignorance and you react to that, then you become ignorant.
Yeah, and you lose.
So back to that, don't be mad if they're mad at you.
Yeah.
Just do what Jah has planned for you.
Gratitude is the attitude.
Don't be mad if they're mad at you. Just do what your heart's planned for you, yo. Gratitude is the attitude, yo. Gratitude is the attitude, yo. Don't be mad if they're mad at you, yo. Do what your heart's planned for you, I said. Gratitude is the attitude, yo.